Hi, sweetheart. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. We are reading today in the text, chapter 22, section 5, Salvation in the Holy Relationship, Weakness and Defensiveness. And we'll read in paragraph 6. Forget not, when you feel the need arise to be defensive about anything, you have identified yourself with an illusion, and therefore feel that you are weak because you are alone. This is the cost of all illusions. No one but rests on the belief that you are separate. Not one that does not seem to stand heavy and solid and immovable between you and your brother, and not one that truth cannot pass over lightly and so easily that you must be convinced, in spite of what you thought it was, that it is nothing. If you forgive your brother, this must happen. For it is your unwillingness to overlook what seems to stand between you and your brother that makes it look impenetrable and defend the illusion of its immovability. I just want to bear testimony on this because I just had this experience just minutes ago before starting this recording. I had shared something with a friend that had offended him, and he reached out and said, this bothered me and this is why. And because of the work I've done with A Course in Miracles, it was so easy for me to respond with love and compassion and say, and not be defensive, to just hold space and be like, I believe you and I understand and I'm sorry. And, I forgive you, but there's nothing to forgive because you did nothing wrong. And I hope you will forgive me. And immediately there was a softening and this reciprocation of oh, thank you so much for holding space for me. And I'm not used to that, and it means a lot. And it was actually like a connecting experience. And I thought about how when I was younger and less experienced, and I didn't have A Course in Miracles to help give me an elevated thought system, and I was still running by the rules of ego, I was still hostage to ego, that I might have created a fight out of that, where there was no fight necessary at all, because he was just speaking his truth. He was speaking what was coming up for him, and it was my honor to hold space for that. So I just want to put it out there that these principles make your life easier and happier and smoother. It's so rare. It's so rare that I have conflict anymore. My life is so peaceful because I just believe people. When they tell me things, I believe them and I listen and I care. There's no defensiveness because I'm not hostage to ego anymore. A Course in Miracles, the thought system in this book, sets you free. That has been my experience. So if you're not there quite yet, keep going. You'll get there. And if you are there, then these little daily reminders, they're great, right? I need them sometimes. Sometimes I do slip back into errors and thinking. And as I read my, my daily paragraph or so, I get this beautiful reminder of oh yeah, there's a more elevated, happier, gentle way to experience this world as a host to God rather than as a hostage to ego. So I commend you for your choice to be here and to show up and to do this work, because the work works. The outcome and the fruits of this are peace, and by their fruits you shall know them. I have so much more harmonious relationships than I used to have. Now there are still a few people in my life who they're suffering and they really, really have not found that inner peace, and their ego can compel them to try and create conflict. And even with those people, my relationship has improved where I can resist taking the bait. And there are people, I'm just adding this from a very practical perspective from my own experience, there are people who are so trapped and lost in a nightmare that they don't know how to have harmonious relationships. And sometimes the only thing we can do is to walk away in love. We're not rejecting, we're not judging, we're using our wise discernment to know that there's nothing I can do right here in this situation other than to love them and wish them well, and trust that when they're ready, they'll wake up from the nightmare. And I can set an indomitable example of someone who refuses to be hostage to ego and who stays centered in their true authentic self and perhaps that will help them awake sooner. But we know from A Course in Miracles that we don't wake people up by violently shaking them and screaming at them and telling them they're wrong. You being your true authentic self, perfect, whole, and complete, choosing love over fear, is the antidote to all the ills of this world over time. And I'm not saying it's all going to happen immediately and that every person will be receptive, but that is the way forward. And you are a part of that. And you are helping to build a more beautiful world when you make these beautiful choices. So thank you. Thank you for being here. I love you. I'll see you soon. Mwah.